Hello and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. We are in midst of the second conversation here in the area of digital transformation. I am speaking to the person who is at the helm of affairs in digital and IT operations at the State Bank of India. Please join me to welcome Mrs. Sunita Handa. Sunita ma'am, welcome to Banking Frontiers Live.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nair.
So, ma'am, along with me joining is Mr. Kunal Kaul, who is the Director Enterprise at Cisco. Hello, Kunal. Welcome to Banking Frontiers Live.
Hello, good afternoon, Babu, and thanks for having me.
You have really done a lot of turnaround in the State Bank of India, especially when it comes to moving this mammoth workforce pre-COVID or post-COVID phase where work from home happens, and that entire operation has been seamless. How did you manage such a great task?
The usual BCP, the standard business continuity plan that an organization draws up, went for a toss. And State Bank of India was no exception to that. So I call it BCCP. Instead of BCP, it is BCCP because it's business continuity and change planning. Decide fast and implement and go ahead.
Kunal, you are from a technology company. What is your thought about how organizations of such kind of sheer size, which is a big size compared to anywhere in the world, can actually empower themselves with much more faster and versatile kind of strategy?
Yeah, so Babu, firstly, I'm completely impressed by the kind of leadership and the kind of transformation that the leading bank like State Bank of India has demonstrated. Future of work was going to be distributed, which meant that people are not only going to work from home, they are going to work from home, they are going to go to a satellite office, they are going to go to an office which is close to where they are, and sometimes maybe they will go to their corporate office. So it's going to be a distributed sort of an environment that is going to get created. And so because of that, we had our technology architects and our engineers started working on developing what we call as a resilient distributed enterprise architecture. And this resilient distributed enterprise architecture was basically based on three pillars. There was the workforce, there was the workplace, and there was the workload. And the fact that we are able to bring all of these together and eventually follow the user. But now we had to align ourselves to the user. We had to follow the user, the policy, the services, with the access that that user needs to have wherever that user goes. And that for us has now become the future of how remote working is going to evolve, how work from anywhere that ma'am mentioned about is going to evolve. And that's where we are trying to develop this kind of a distributed, resilient sort of enterprise architecture for our customers.
How is the experience of the customer also changing? I mean, what are the new demands that the customers make in this digital era where everything is shifted to digital? Of course, it has to be more experiential also. What is your take there? What is the change that you have been observing in this area?
So, see, there has been continuous thrust on digital. It's driven by penetration of internet and smart mobiles, pushed by the government and regulators, and above all, the demand from consumers. Now, there is a fourth factor also added to it, this digitalization push by Corona. So you will see there is a drop in transactions, but that is basically because people are ordering less number of items. There is no tourism. There are not many flights which are going. And the number of transactions are low, but then new people, they are joining in the digital bandwagon, and e-commerce, of course, the number of transactors that has gone up. Another very interesting thing I see is when people do go out of their homes, okay, and they go to a shop and they have to buy something and on a POS machine. Now they are saying that, okay, what is that? They are not interested in giving their card for dipping the card or swiping the card. They will be asking, okay, how can I make this payment through tap and go? How can I use the QR code on my mobile so that there is that minimum touch or zero touch between the shopkeeper and this person? So these are the new demands. So accordingly, actually, in ATMs also, same thing. They say that do we have any facility on ATMs to withdraw cash, to deposit cash where minimum touch is there? In fact, we do have a product called YONO Cash, So that was quite successful. That is cardless payment. So going by success of that, we have launched yet another product to draw cash from ATMs. If there is a QR code facility, you have an account with SBI, you go to an SBI ATM, give you the amount, etc., enter amount and whatever denominations you require in the ATM. So ATM will show you a QR code. Now on your SBI app, mobile banking app, you can scan that QR code and you get cash. So it is as simple as that. No card dipping, no need to carry card. Mobile is always with you. So that it has just been launched by our chairman. So as far as this cash deposit is concerned, SBI has lots of recyclers and CDMs, but overall system doesn't have. So we are also working on making our CDMs, cash deposit machines, or we call them recyclers, as interoperable, so that anyone having account with any other bank can use his card on our CDMs and deposit cash. That our inward clearing, we get lakhs of checks, and our staff has to manually look at the date and signature and then match the amount in words and figures, all those things. So now we have put artificial intelligence to match these things, that the date is valid and the signatures match and then the amount of figures match. So all these routine and repetitive things, that artificial intelligence is taking care, and then many of our employees, they'll be freed up from this routine job and they can be deployed more gainfully.
But on one side, you have a very tech-savvy customer. On the other side, you have a rural customer. It is like India and Bharat. How do you bridge the gap?
This is the most interesting part when in SBI we draw a digital roadmap for our offerings for the customers. We have this green channel counters. So green channel counters are like POS machines. So they are kept on our tellers counters. So we tell our customers who do come to the branch, okay, you have come to the branch, but bring your debit card along. And instead of filling up that paper form, etc., if you have to remit money or you have to withdraw cash, you put your card, use this machine, this POS type of machine, GCC, to use your card on this and enter the amount, and your voucher is filled, because our teller is there to help him, this guy, that okay, now you dip your card and now you enter your amount. So once or twice, when the customer uses it, after that he gets confidence, and then he uses the same card on a POS machine also, on an ATM also, and by the way, he gains confidence to use it for e-commerce also. So that's how, this is our first step of taking a customer uninitiated to the onto his digital journey. And then you said that rural and urban divide. No, you will be surprised to know that there is nothing called this rural urban divide. We have seen, our net banking has seen so many transactions, very good number of transactions coming from certain rural areas. Whereas in certain pockets in metros, not only urban metros also, certain pockets people are just going to the branches. They will not even update their passbook on the Swayam machines we have. They will go to the counter only. So this metro and this urban rural divide is not there. Then this age divide is also not there. That young people, they will always be tech savvy. That also, it is not completely true. Then we see that, okay, educated and less educated, that also doesn't hold true. So, I mean, we have all kinds. We can't segmentize that, okay, this area, there are many educated people, so only these channels will work. Or this is a metro branch or an urban branch, so, it will not have any customers coming for branch transactions. So this is a very interesting story. So, only thing is we have to take care of all this while drawing our digital strategy. And yes, we have only now 10% of total transactions which are happening through the paper mode or the branch mode. Only 10% of the total financial transactions.
What are the strategies with which you can actually advise the banks with diverse customer base like that of SBI?
Madam spoke about the fact that the digital divide is becoming narrower and narrower. Engaging customers and delivering the best sort of user experience to customers is always been something which is very, very critical. And banks have been running the omni-channel contact centers for engaging their customers for a while now. I think what we are now trying to do is we are trying to make those omni-channel customer service platforms, more cognitive, leverage AI. We spoke about RPA, and we spoke about a lot of the automation that is happening in this space. So we are also trying to now bring in things like chatbot, both on the voice side as well as the chat side, and using that to engage customers more and more. At the same time, these are natively built into our contact center platform or our customer service delivery platform, and the customer experience is not compromised. So those are the kind of innovations that we are now seeing on the customer service side. Also, I think the mapping of the customer experience and the entire customer journey itself has become very, very important. So we are now also building those capabilities into our platforms where we map the entire customer journey, we do the entire sentiment analysis of the customer, and we provide this information real time back to the agents. Eventually, the objective of engaging the customer digitally and getting that customer to both know about the bank services and also for the bank's agent to know about the problems that those customers are facing or the questions that they have becomes a lot more effective.
Accelerating this digital transformation journey is one of the biggest challenge for any of the banks or for the financial institution. How are you aiding this digital transformation journey or fast tracking this?
Yeah, no, I think again a lot of it was mentioned by ma'am as well. But getting customers to use more and more digital transactions is going to be an area of focus for all large banks. And we did an extensive sort of study and analysis, and we figured out that if digital transactions, or if customers have to be encouraged to do more and more digital transactions, there are three key pillars that can basically accelerate that. Number one is around experience, and we've spoken a lot about that. So both experience of the customer who's doing these transactions and the experience of the bank officers and employees who are using the tools and applications and platforms that are available to them to conduct these transactions has to be enhanced. The second pillar is around assurance. So making sure that the transaction gets completed. We still have a scenario where a lot of these transactions get lost. So the customer experience gets compromised. The bank spends a lot of time in discovering what these lost transactions are. So making sure that the transaction assurance is complete. And the third one is around trust. I mean, you have to, ma'am spoke about a lot of the digital frauds that are happening, phishing attacks which are happening, a lot of the phone calls and OTP compromises which are happening. So making sure that how do we build this trust, and we are actually talking about an option where you can replace OTPs with dual factor or multi-factor authentication, so that it makes the transaction more secure, and it also builds that additional level of trust.
I would like to thank Madam Sunita.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nair.
And Kunal together for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Babu. Thank you so much.